When I was just a child, a teenager actually, I used to live in a 2-story family house. It was a nice house really. It had 3 bathrooms, an open kitchen, tons of closets and amenities. It was really everything that you could ever ask for in a home. I lived there with my mother, father, and my little brother. My little brother's name was James, and he was a very cheerful boy. He was only a couple of years younger than me, but he just loved to run around and play outside. He was always more of that sportish kind of person, while I was more of your stereotypical nerd, playing video games all day and preferring to spend all my time on the internet. Still though, I loved my little brother quite a lot, even being the little joking trickster that he was. Since he enjoyed playing sports so much, in my junior year of high school he made the decision to join the school tennis team. This meant that a lot of the time I would be home by myself for a few hours after school. I didn't mind it too much really. I knew that both of our parents had to work to support our family, and my little brother's interest in sports would probably really help him get into college. So, I would walk home, open the door, and leave the chain unlocked for my brother to come in once he arrived home from practice, and I'd just go about my daily routine. This of course involved all of the normal teenager things such as doing homework, doing chores, and then going on YouTube or playing video games, wasting away. I remember this certain day like it was just yesterday. I had just walked home from school, not really paying attention to anything, just thinking out loud to myself. That was what I usually liked to do on the long 30-minute walks home from school, since I didn't really ever have anybody to walk home with. On the days that my little brother did have practice, he would always walk home a different way. Since we both liked to take these different paths home, each one of us believed stubbornly as children that our path was the fastest. As I unlocked the door to my house this day, I noticed that the house was still quiet, and my little brother's backpack wasn't in the place where he normally put it when he'd get home early. Still, he could have taken it upstairs to type on the computer, since that was the only one with a working printer in the house, and he often got homework assignments that required use of it that he'd finish when he got home. "Hey, James, you here?" I called out, checking to see if my brother had arrived before me. As soon as I took a step forward, I heard a faint voice from upstairs, seemingly calling me to it.
"Yes?"
I took a step back, looking up the stairs to where I'd heard the soft voice come from. "Hey man, you alright? Do you need me to make you something to eat or something?" I started to climb the steps, looking down both sides of the hall to try and pinpoint where James was hiding out. Surprisingly though, every single door in the hall was open. Every single door, that is, except for the door at the end of the hall. This was extremely out of place, as the room behind that particular door functioned as a storehouse for all of our old toys that we used to play with. Old toys that we'd either grown out of or long since broken. Neither one of us ever really went in that room anymore usually, as we saw no use for those old broken things, leaving them there to gather dust. It seemed that today, for some reason though, my brother had chosen to seek refuge in this old play place. I tried to shrug it off. I tried to think of a logical reason why he would be hiding out in there. Maybe he just wanted to feel a bit of nostalgia. I know that sometimes when I was feeling lonely or down, I would just walk into the room and look at all of the toys, trying to bring back some of the old memories. As I reached the top of the stairs, I called out again. "Hey, you alright in there, buddy?" No response yet again, as I looked straight at the closed door. "Hey James, come on man, you alright in there? James?" Again the voice replied with a soft,
"Yes?"
This time it was louder. I still couldn't help but feel off about something. There was something about his voice that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. His voice. It wasn't the normal, jovial voice of my little brother. This one was very soft, almost emotionless as it hung in my ears. Something was wrong here. but I decided I had to get to the bottom of it. As I walked slowly towards the door, I began to get a startling feeling of uneasiness in the pit of my stomach. It's that sort of uneasiness that you get when you know that you're not supposed to be somewhere, like something bad could happen at any moment. As I approached the door, however, I heard the downstairs front door unlock and swing open. My brother walked in, panting, dropping his bags into the usual spot and running to the fridge to get a quick drink of water. If my brother had just arrived from the long walk home, then who was behind the door, answering my calls earlier? "Hey dude, you home?" my brother called out, probably seeing my backpack lying on the floor like it usually was. I stepped back away from the door, startled, and turned to the stairs to respond. "Yeah, I was just upstairs in the playroom looking for something." "Come on, get down here. You know how Mom is about us finishing our homework and doing the chores before anything else." I remember taking a few steps down the stairs, but stopping and looking back behind me. Yeah, I know. Just let me finish up real quick and then I'll be right down." "It's your turn to do the dishes today, dude." I was feeling slightly better and chuckled at my brother's statement. I turned around, but what I saw made me gasp. The door at the end of the hall that had been closed just a minute ago was now ever so slightly ajar, and I could feel a light breeze coming through the door. I slowly started to panic and took in a huge gulp as I slowly approached the door. My shaky hands rested upon the handle. As the handle turned, I could feel my heartbeat start to skyrocket, my body bracing itself for what was to come. I opened the door, only to be heavily confused at the sight. There was no unwelcome guest in the room, but some of the toys, I knew for sure they were out of place. I knew that they couldn't have fallen off of a large stack and come to a rest. Those toys had already been on the ground. Slowly, I approached the window, looking out from above. "Dude, what the heck is taking so long?" I jumped, only to turn around and see my brother standing there, looking more than a little annoyed. I sighed and laughed, relaxing a bit now that I wasn't alone upstairs. "Hey, did you close this door earlier?" I asked him curiously. "No, we never use this room anymore, dude. Get an urge to play with the old toys again?" he asked, punching me in the shoulder. No reason. You can go back downstairs now. I guess I'm done up here." I watched my brother run back down to the first floor. As I turned my head, though, I thought out of the very corner of my eye that I could see something. It was only for a split moment, but in the closet in the corner of the room, I swear I saw a face. I thought I saw a pale white face peeking out at me from behind a stack of toys that we'd piled at the edge of the room. My heart jumped as I blinked, only to realize that nothing was there. I let out a sigh of relief and went downstairs to join my brother, no longer wanting to spend any more time than I had to on the second floor. After that experience, it was never the same. I couldn't bear to be by myself upstairs ever again, especially not at night or ever in the dark. Every time I would go up there, I could feel someone watching me, like they were just observing me from a distance. My hair would always stand on end, and I never did go into that toy room ever again. Eventually, I finally moved out of the house, packing my car and getting ready to go off to college. I remember though, for a split second as I looked up to say goodbye, I could see clear as day, out of the corner of my eye, a pale face watching me from the upstairs window. What is up, guys? Blue Spooky here, as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of the video. Tonight we have a very special treat for y'all. This is actually a story that I wrote myself back when I was in high school. When I was in high school for my senior project, I actually decided to write a book with 10 different stories in it throughout the year, and I actually self-published it as well. And this is one of those stories that were in that book. My dad reminded me of it the other day, and I figured it was about a good time to share something that I'd written, even if it wasn't a true story necessarily. It is based off a sort of kind of memory that I have from the past, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that it's about 7 years ago that I wrote this, but please be sure to leave any criticism if you have any, either about the way that I narrated or the way that the story itself was written, because as a writer, feedback is one of the most important things you can have. Alan and I have decided to start doing a thing where we write some prompts every week to try and jog our writing skills. So I'll probably post some of those to No Sleep actually, and I'll probably read some of them on the channel as well, so I hope you guys will enjoy those when those come out. As always, if you guys are curious about the music used in this video, you can find all of the music listed in order which it appears in the video in the description below, and you can also find links to the artists as well. If you're curious about my artist, that is my friend Alan that I just talked about. He does all kinds of horror art, so I leave links to all of his social media in the description as well. I'm sure he takes commissions as well, so feel free to message him if you need something done for you. He'll never let you down. He's a very good artist. If you guys want to send in any stories that you have written, or if you have any stories that you'd like me to read, please be sure to take a look in the description and go ahead and send me a message on any of my social media. I'll have links to my Gmail, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch accounts, so go ahead and send me a message on any of those. If you do decide to send in a story, please be sure to include in the tagline what the name of the story is, what the theme is if it has any, and how you would like to be credited in the description of the video the story appears in. Overall though, I think that's pretty much it for now, so I hope you enjoyed my work, and I hope you guys have a great day.